nipples.
Oh God. I actually did start that as well there. That's in. As far as I know, that's in. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Hi, we're recording once again a quick recording session today. So we can get some stuff out to people. I know it's been a while. We have had holidays and various other things starting to happen. School holidays as well, which means most of us are exhausted. So yes, we have. We are at least trying to get a few bits and pieces done, a few bits and pieces in. This is, I think, episode number 66, but I'm not 100% certain on that one, so don't quote me on it.
Wipe them out, all of them.
Yes, all right. Do I get a TPK in town? No, it's not going to happen. So
Strike me down and I will become more powerful than you can ever imagine.
yeah.
The memes are strong with this group.
But anyway, we are back.
Also,
Three?
Three.
Okay. Three.
If you don't know, don't worry about it. It's fine.
I've lost this group, apparently. They're just off in their own little world. So
And there is nothing new there.
No.
Nothing
It's
different at all.
better than the real one.
It's better than the real one, yes. I'm going to give you that for free. Right, so, as I said, we are back. Abomination Vaults, Pathfinder 2nd Edition. All the fun and games of using Foundry and various other bits and pieces. You can see the various logos below of the sorts of things that we're involved with, including our social media, which is down there as well. One of them's Twitter, I will admit, so, that might be changed at some point. But, it's there at the moment until the man with the Tesla factory, probably crammed up somewhere that he shouldn't have one, gets himself and destroys Twitter, which he's working on it. So
he's getting there.
He's getting there. So we'll possibly switch to the social media and do something else with it at some point. We don't have any
Anti-social
media. We don't have any specific announcements. What I will do, just for a little bit of plugging, because every now and again I do this, is that the gentleman right down in the bottom corner, he is a streamer. He does variety game streaming. At the moment, every other week for various reasons. The similar reasons, in fact, to why I stream every other week as well. We effectively, we are both on there. If you want to watch JJ, he is on as a modern mercenary. Not all as one word. A_modern_mercenary. I'm on there as Big Grumpy Gamer. And yeah, we're on there periodically. We both do similar-ish games, although this week Merc has been playing a little bit more of the sort of first-person shootery type games with Ghost Recon that I've seen you've been doing the last week. And I tend to flow into things a little bit more isolinear, action-adventure type stuff with Diablo 4, which I'm doing at the end of this week, but we both do Satisfactory periodically and a few other bits and pieces like that. So, yes, we are on there, and we are currently sort of, I suppose we're moving slowly but surely towards September, so, a bit of self-promotion for that sort of thing. Right, in the meantime, with this lot, what they have been doing, when we have been able to get together and do some recording, is blinding a poor blacksmith and stealing all of his stuff, effectively. High, courageous, adventuring type people that they are. This is the sort of thing that they have been doing. So
I seem to remember I mugged him twice as well.
You did steal money from him as part and parcel of the process, as well as taking the sword out of his hands while he was still trying to swing it. So yeah, he didn't have a very good fight, did our Carmen Rajani. He now is bereft of his family sword, which he is desperate to claim back. as the party have just shoved it in their bag of holding and walked off, having told him that effectively, if he really, really, really wants to keep the sword, they can meet him at the Abomination vaults, where they'll guide him down into the catacombs to where the party needs the sword, and maybe then he can have it back afterwards.
You're making that sound a little more patronising than we actually were. I mean, only a little.
It is marginal. It is
Wasn't-
absolutely
wasn't-
marginal.
Wasn't it that he could claim it back and use it and then return triumphantly as the rightful owner? Wasn't that how we were doing this?
That was my plan. Yeah,
Yeah.
he gets to have it back. We get to formally hand it back to the hereditary heir of it, and stick 2 fingers up at the incumbent mayor for being for being from a family of thieving gits.
I wasn't part of any of this decision because I stormed off after yelling at him. I did tell.
But in either case, I mean, for a start, he doesn't want to go back to town, so this is a slight problem for him in his eyes. So, but still,
This is exactly a him problem.
Sucks to be him.
Sucks to be him. However, the pair of items still left to find are a spell book and a brooch, which I incorrectly told this lot was from the cleric. Apparently it was from the hunter, which meant that they went down into the Abomination vaults without any healing, so no wonder somebody got killed. You know, it's generally not a
Party
good
balance, people.
Yeah. But NPCs with no party balance. What are you going to do about it? So these are the things that they have left to sort of find. These are the 2 items, and without asking in too much detail, I said to this lot before I hit the play button, "Do you know which one you're going after next?" And the kind of look was, not really.
We were about as organised as a bunch of ADHD bisexuals,
Yes.
which to me is not.
Resemble that.
Sorry, I chose violence. I do apologise.
Somebody woke up and chose violence this morning. Right.
Hey,
So...
I don't have a diagnosis yet.
Self-diagnosis is valid.
And experimenting is a good thing.
So, the main thing I would say is, though, you did go to the smuggler's den. It was quite late at night, so we will at least sort of round things off with that one. The fact that by the time you get home, back to Atari, it is very dark and very much the middle of the night. And what we'll do, we'll just quickly throw the old screen up. I'm not entirely sure why that's not updated. There we go, that's updated now. So we have the Atari map up for everybody. We'll put on a little bit of the old tunage, he says, and then it won't work. Hello, come on, wake up. Come on, there we go. There we are, very nice. So, we are back in Atari. It is late of the evening. You do have a couple of options for rest. Not least of which the fact that you still have the bunk houses in the Crook's Nook, which you have still rented out. You effectively rented them and then went out hunting Carmen Rajani and are now back in town. Bag of holding, completely hiding the spoils of your journey, as there is no trace of such things inside the bag of holding, regardless of the size of them. And you head back. Where are you going?
Well, do we know where either of these other 2 things are? And are we going to attempt a bit of midnight ninjing, or are we just going to shout at people in the morning?
Isn't one of them in the Dawnflower Library? I'm making that up.
Not the Dawn.
That's where the sword was held for a while, wasn't it?
That was where the sword was. So the clerk that was in town and could have kind of caught you, and you did the whole "I have Atari's head in the bag" bit too. He had mentioned that the other 2 items are indeed still in town. The first of those items, the book, is, well, he isn't 100% certain if that one actually is in town, but the one person who will almost certainly know is malevolent at the odd stories, simply because it's the kind of thing that would have passed through his shop at some point in time if it ever moved on from there. And any legends, of course, about it will have also have gone through that sort of area. The other one is the brooch was owned by originally Asfahina Menems, the ancestor of the current mayor of the town, and it is most definitely an item that they keep hold of.
Two items, thanks. He had the sword, which he loaned out to the library.
He had two of them, yes. So he has the sword that he loaned out to the library, which was effectively used as like a town rallying type item. It's known as the Corporation Blade. He had his reasons to sort of put it in as that sort of item, and then the brooch. It's well believed that the mayor's family has kept that as an heirloom.
I reckon we should probably try and get the book first. That way we can present at least half a fait accompli to the mayor and say, we're taking this to solve your problem.
Sounds like a plan. And plus, we're much less likely to punch Morley Bint.
Yeah.
I'm likely to punch him.
Why?
I mean, that's probably...
Because Neffy, and she's really angry right now.
Yes. Poor impulse control.
I reckon a pie and night's rest for Neffy to see if they feel better in the morning.
I like to imagine she's not part of this in any way. She's just marching, like, straight on. She's already heading to the mayor. She has no idea you guys are having a different decision.
Why is she heading to the mayor? That's what I'm most worried about. I think that's like half a street behind. It's like, what road is Neffy? Oh, no.
Just grabs her rucksack.
Just don't fix her up by the rucksack. So there's like a pair of feet
lifting.
for a moment.
The feet are still stomping. The arms are going.
The traction has been reduced somewhat for a moment.
If anyone wants to draw fan art of that.
19 strength has to count for something. No.
Okay.
She just crossed her arms and crossed her legs, and she's like, fine.
Dear.
We will deal with him in good time. Probably with the swift kicking, if not in the political style.
I don't care about the politics. I just want to kick him.
Let's not do it tonight. Let's save it for another night.
You promised me pie.
Pie we shall have, and I just steer towards the lodging.
She heard that bit.
It's amazing. Finely tuned ears, this one.
Only to the word pie.
And not the word cream.
So it's turning into that kind of D&D show.
Yeah, we're going that far, are we? All right, okay. Dear.
We hadn't already.
Well, yeah, all right. Yeah.
Just practicing for 3 episodes' time.
God.
Hey, Matt, if you can get Erica Ishian as a guest star, feel free.
No. Right. Anyway. So you drag Neffy. Probably more lift and carry by scruff of neck, but carefully and with a certain amount of care, you manage to get back to the Crook's Nook. I assume drinks and food, considering the late hour, just to kind of keep you going, get you out of the level of tension that you're under, and then a night's sleep in a bed again. This seems to be something that you are capable of doing at the moment because you've been travelling backwards and forwards, almost like you head in for a day and then pop straight back out again. You haven't really had to bunk down for any reason in the Abomination vaults for a little while. Come the morning,
Which, to be fair, is quite nice.
it is. Come the morning, what sort of time do people get out of bed? What's the plans for each character?
I've got a nagging feeling we had shopping again, didn't we? Or am I making that up?
I think you had ideas of things to buy, but nobody had ever actually committed to it. And I think the other problem was that the items that you were planning to buy were probably not of the kind of level that this town has ready access to. So one thing you do know is Rin can get more or less anything from Absalom. That isn't a problem, but it involves getting the money to Rin to send out the message to buy the thing to get it delivered back. So it does take a couple of days for things to be bought for you, unless you're buying anything. And from a mechanical sense, items in this game have levels, so anything which is a level 4 or less, almost certainly you can find in this town, or at least could be made for you or whatever. Anything of a higher level, you are now in the realms of having to go to Absalom for it. And I think some of the items you guys were looking at were like level 6, 7 items, so they were considerable. So very quickly, just as a general idea, is anybody up at the dawn?
Probably.
Because I'm wondering if a certain someone up top on my screen needs to be kept within the bounds.
No, she'd have eaten pie late into the night. She'd have eaten her feelings and then gone to sleep.
So you are waking up late is functionally what you're saying here. Okay.
Later than the first, yes.
Fair enough. So with a gentle rise and a general sort of slope out of bed, and with some of you having the standard morning issues with a slightly overfull tummy or a slightly overfull sort of bladder of alcohol, and the accompanying headache that goes with it, you manage to slowly but surely drag yourselves out of bed at the Crook's Nook to a fairly busy morning. You can, from where you are, you can hear the marketplace already starting to fill. Fresh catches already being put on sale. You notice the fact that Yzdemira is not here, and when you ask one of her sort of barmaids or bar staff, so she's down at the market buying the food and the veg needed for the kitchen for the next day, and with a sort of general nod and a wink because they know you, and she sort of says, and seeing if there's a couple of purses to lighten, and if there's anybody out and about that's not a local. You have complete control of where you guys go.
I think once we've had breakfast, probably head to look for the book. Look for Zamavdium's tome. Try and find out more on that.
Would Well, it's party loot, but I was going to ask if we could try and hunt down an armor rune for my explorer's clothes, so I am slightly less squishy.
Okay, then let's do that.
We could do that, or we can transfer the +1 from Atari's studded leather armor.
I mean, that would work too. Yeah, that's.
Is it significantly easier to buy a rune and then apply it than transfer it?
It's
Or
exactly the
is it-
same. It's exactly the same.
And
so
it's
the-
significantly cheaper to copy it or transfer
I
it.
mean, effectively, because you don't have to buy. Yeah, you don't have to buy. Now, the only question is, of course, does anybody want to wear that armor? You know, is there anybody that's after a set of studded armor in your group?
Let me double check, but I think I can't wear it. What the problem is, I can't. I'm not
No, I
I-
think
strong
couldn't.
enough, unless that's. Oh, that might be the other character. Hang on, who is currently wearing armor he can't wear. No, maybe I can.
Are you configured for light armor?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I could.
It's studded, is it medium?
No, it's light. It is light armor.
Can I wear
Let's
light armor?
have a quick look. So
Oh.
you cannot wear light armor. You are only
There we go.
unarmored.
Because I'm squishy sorcerer.
The only other person that could potentially wear it is Neffy.
Yeah.
And that's it. So
hmm But I'm currently wearing armor, so it kind of makes sense for you to get the rune transferred onto your explorer's clothes to make you slightly harder to hit. And then the next time we want to look at runes and stuff, then improve my leather armor.
And then
hmm
mine or
Moz's, yeah.
Yeah. The only other one I was going to look for was a striking rune for my crossbow, which is
yeah, again, it's probably doable.
it's considerably cheaper than the armor rune as well.
Well, yes, they are. They're lower level, so yeah, absolutely, they are. So yes, I mean, in terms of shopping for things like that, a striking rune, no problems whatsoever. You will be able to find that. That's 65 gold. Yeah, is
Given we have 390 in our treasure without selling anything, is everybody okay with me buying a striking rune?
Yep.
yeah.
Absolutely fine.
Cool. In that case, Phelan, you're better at crafting than me, aren't you?
I think so. +10.
Yeah, you're better than me. Depends. If you are happy to do the transfers, then I'll ask you to do it. Otherwise, I'll have a go.
Yeah,
there
it's going to take what, a day for each.
day for each, yeah.
So it's a question of when do you want to do this, or do you mind me not being in the loop when you're shaking down Morliband and the mayor?
I would really like to be less squishy, at least.
What is your AC at the moment?
19.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's 2 point. That's 2 points squishier than me.
Yeah, I am super squishy. Okay.
Yep. Welcome to the world of being a sorcerer. So yeah. Okay. So the level of a not striking rune. We want an armor potency rune, don't we? Armor potency rune is a level 2 item. So the target number for success is a 16. I believe with your +10, you've got a good chance. I'll just say that. I'll not curse it too much.
21.
21. That is more than enough. So, with the process of a day, as you say, you sit yourself down in the Crook's Nook, and you slowly but surely work magic from the rune on one, and you inscribe the rune onto a set of effectively clothes that are slightly designed to contain these runes. The advantage of explorers' clothes is they fundamentally have bits of solid leather and things like that on them to make them more rigid and sturdy, and that gives them a chance to have runes put on them.
The elbow patches
On the
and
elbow
and the yoke.
patches and, over the shoulders, yeah, all those sorts of geography teacher type things.
Army woolly pulley.
Yeah. So you get that transferred over. That is pretty much your day as it goes. Where do the rest of you head? I'm very much leaning in on the fact that it appears that Mosran is becoming the party leader and probably gets the main choice.
I just have a bad habit of opening my mouth.
Love it. Yes.
The problem is I only take just about enough notes, and on this occasion I have not. Morley Bint, that's his name. There we
That's
go.
the one.
I remembered it was a stupid name.
We can't go there. It's a stupid place.
It's a silly place.
He's taking more notes than I have.
Essentially, Moz will be inclined to move towards Morley Bint's books in order to have a rather direct conversation. Once everyone's picked up the bits and pieces of equipment they need or had brief conversations, so that we can get a keystone marker thing achieved in the day. Like the rest of the day can be turned up for crafting or for otherwise, but he kind of wants to nail something for now before midday.
So,
And is not a person of negotiable affection.
you are going to head to Odd Stories where Morlibant is.
I will go as well, being slightly more talky.
What's Neffy
Who's
gonna do?
keeping an eye on Neffy?
Actually, not it.
I've got a job for today.
Right, Neffy, come along. Come on.
Oh, okay.
Group stepmom.
All right. She's like plodding along, like afterwards, like really unhappy about it. She's still sulking from yesterday.
Okay, you head into Odd Shops then. Odd Stories. Morlibant sat with his sort of little glasses on, his flat cap, greens in general colour. Is sort of sat behind the counter, looking over a book as you enter in. Oh, hello. It's good to see you back. How's everything?
It's not too bad. Not too bad. The world is still strange and as interesting as ever.
Yes, well, it is that sort of way, isn't it? Oh dear. Oh well. You still going into that Abomination vaults, are you? You still popping down there? You've not found
We
any more
are.
books for me, have you, by any chance?
No, but I do need to bend your ear and tell you a very short tale, and then ask a
Well-
very specific book for yourself.
Well, my darling, you're always welcome to bend my ear.
Well, you know how all the great myths and legends of our times, as well as some of the more fantastical ones, often require individuals to gather various items of power in order to gain access to a thing.
It's such an awful trope, constantly written in books. I tell you what, if people could just come up with something that actually happens in real life, these fiction stories would be far more believable.
They would. And on this occasion, apparently, reality resembles that fiction on account of the fact that you'll know as well as anybody does the stories of Atari and how the Rose Guard first delved into and destroyed herself. Let's not give her any additional publicity. It happens
Yes,
to be
well,
that
yes,
she's
that's
bound
good.
some of her magic to them as individuals, which, as distasteful as it is, means we need to gather some notable items
You are
of theirs.
you are pulling my leg here. I do hope, my dear. 'cause-
No.
I really
Okay,
wish that
okay.
there are some distasteful conversations coming up in the next few days, and there's already been one forced conversation. I'm hoping this is going to be one of the gentler options. We're looking for a tome that some Abdian used to have. We've already got Atari's dagger. We're looking for the book. We are going to be having a conversation, stand up or otherwise, with the mayor very soon regarding a brooch.
Oh, I see.
Yes,
I'm
and Moz will
I'm
just have this growing
I'm
grey face.
going to have a little guess that the theft of the cooperative blade has put a little dampener in your works as well. Although you've mentioned a conversation that you've already had, I do kind of hope that it has at least made the gentleman in question go away. Anyway,
Let's say every component of that conversation is still walking and talking.
walking a very, very long, long way from here, one would hope. As look, he puts a very, very bad spin on the mayor when he talks, but the man's quite. Carmen's an insidious little weasel of an individual. Quite honestly, look, he makes a lot of noise about the mayor acting as if it's an inheritance to be the mayor. The problem is, the only reason why he sees it that way, and the only reason he's never been elected to the position, is because actually it's like looking in a mirror. The man believed he should be mayor just simply because of who his forebears were. Whereas our current mayor is generally speaking done okay. And does a good job. Anyway, right, so look, dearies, I think I have a good idea of what you're after. A very specific book. You said the name Zarmavdian. Zarmavdian, sorry, words, tongues, and all of that lot, keeping them under control. Now,
I'm sure that a loose tongue can be useful on occasions.
well, anyway, I do think I know of the book you're talking about. I believe from what I'm aware, it is called The Thresholds of Truth, in fact. Zarmavdian's own spellbook. At least in part. He also put a few other bits and pieces in there as well. You've done quite a good favour for me, and I do have a bit of information about the book, to be fair. So, how do I put this? The book left Atari quite a long time ago. It did the rounds for some time and has been in various libraries in Absalon, in Cheliax as well, I believe. It's moved around and been bought by various connoisseurs of the magic arts, of which, of course, I do classify myself as. And part of the reason why I claim such things is because I actually own the Thresholds of Truth. It's in my private collection. Just so happens that it made itself a round trip and has come back here just in time, it would appear, for whatever you need it for. Now, of course, there is something of great value to this book. Zarmavdian wasn't the most powerful ancient mage. In fact, more or less as soon as Belcora was destroyed back then, he kind of retired and just went about and did very little else. but it is an ancient book, and therefore has a certain amount of value. So here's the crux of my request, because you've already worked for me. So you I trust, you as a group I trust, and therefore I will be more than happy to loan you the book on one condition, one cost, as it were. I really would like if you could document what happens when you use these items, any magical phenomena that might occur. If nothing else, as a footnote on the back of my own research and looking into the Rose Garden and various other bits and pieces, modern experimentation with Rose Guard material could well just tip the book into being something a little bit more special, if you know what I mean.
Something I'm aware of, although it's not really my area of expertise, is that some spell books can end up being more resistive to common occurrences. For example, pages of spell books don't seem to be as affected by water or ghoul attack or otherwise. They tend to be a little bit tougher by virtue of being what they are. I don't suppose you would have a notepad or such that we could utilize rather than, using the back couple of pages of such a note with tome.
Oh, no, I don't want you to write in the tome. Goodness, no. No, the book stays as it is. Please be clear on
Absolutely.
this. I was kind of assuming that as adventurers you would have pencil and
We have scratch
paper.
pads and scribe work, but yes, it was just out of curiosity if you had something a little bit more robust.
No. I think what you are using is more. The pages of magical books become more robust because of the magic that is put onto them. Inherently, that sort of thing. No, it's yes. Do not write in my book if you don't mind. Ever.
That was far from my intent, but it was just the curiosity of it, and now I have more knowledge, and that is useful to know.
Let me just very quickly follow me. I'd like to take you to my academic study. And he walks to the back of the store where there is a curtain. He opens the curtain, allowing all of you to go in before him. And you find yourself in what is effectively like a stairwell going up the tower that is part of Odd Stories, to a room, not quite at the top. The stairs do carry on, and you have a feeling that's probably where him and his husband live. But this room that he takes you into sort of rings around the outside of the thing, and it is books all the way around. Not a single one of them is like a non-fiction fiction story. This is spell books, treatise on occultism, treatise on psychopomps, if you kind of pay attention, and various other bits and pieces, demons, devils, angels. There are academic books of myriad sorts up here.
Can I get very distracted by the psychopomps part?
You absolutely can be. And Morlibant will kind of go and find the book that you guys want and hand it over, and then Keepers of the Dead. I see a bit of a fascination there. Any particular reason? Outside of, well, you do sometimes look a little grey and pale, I have to say.
Can't go asking people
Yeah.
that.
Oh, he's not
just,
wrong.
like, immediately protect
He's
him.
not wrong. Yes, this topic has personal relevance to me.
Well, should you find yourself with a bit of time, you have helped me out considerably. I've made quite a little bit of money off some of the books you found for me. I'm more than happy to allow people of note, such as yourselves, to spend some time here looking over these books. More than happy for you to
That's
do that.
very kind. Thank you. Next time we have some spare hours, that might be this afternoon, it might not be, I will happily see if it's convenient. Thank you.
No, not a problem at all. Not a problem. Just yes, be aware they are quite dry in places, and I don't mean the moisture levels of the pages.
I understand that.
Anyway, do take care of my book, please, ladies, gentlemen. I would very much appreciate it, and the notes that you take be brought back to me as soon as you're able to. No rushing. I don't want you getting yourself killed, after all.
Absolutely no. We do appreciate that. We do appreciate the level of trust you have in us. This. It is likely to be a few days, potentially
Oh,
2 or 3 days
that's not a problem at
after
all.
we go down.
As I said, if you do not return for any particular reason, that might be a bit of an issue. But I'd assume it wouldn't be because you run away.
No, at that point, it might be worth sending a letter or two. Perhaps I might leave a letter or two with you as a bit of a backup. If we don't come back within a week and a half to send off.
I'm sure it can be arranged. Anyway, it's early morning. Hopefully, at some point when the market starts getting a bit less busy, some people might be in here to buy the odd little bit of fiction. So I best really get back to the front desk if you don't mind. I can't really keep you here. Carl is sleeping. I'll ask you if you could step outside now.
Of
Head
course.
off
Thank
to
you again.
wherever you need to. And dearies, always come back. I'll always have a smile for you.
I do appreciate it. Absolutely, I do. And yes, it'll be good to spend a
Invar
little
is
bit of time encouraging things.
Invar is trying very hard not to piss herself laughing.
and Moz will filter off with the rest of the folks.
Okay. You have your third item. The book is within your control. There is only one thing left to get hold of, and that is
Well,
the
two,
brush.
because I want a decent notebook and pen.
Well, yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Those are
I'm
things
gonna go.
that Rin can get you for. I mean, it's how decent do you want? Effectively, it's the question between getting something for 2 silver or 5 silver. It's really negligible.
I want a waterproof cover so that, you know, it stands up to the rigors of being taken through a dungeon and possibly dropped in a puddle. And
Yeah, a little leather notebook which could be effectively dropped into a leather satchel, and the like. Yeah, I can see that. Let me just see if there's anything in here, because there always might be. Let's say it would be the equivalent of. Ooh, it'll be the same as a formula book or a basic crafter's book. These things are built to sort of to last. A basic crafter's book, which would be your lower quality one, is 1 silver. A formula book, which is exceptionally important, they are about 1 gold each. So pick a value somewhere between 1 silver and 1 gold, dependent on the quality of a notebook that you want, and we can easily throw that in as an item. But yeah, let's say that the crafter's book probably wouldn't survive being dropped into a river, whereas a formula book might.
let's go with that.
Okay, it's a gold. Okay, so after sort of popping out, just popping over the road, Rin sort of very, very briefly, she's dealing with a number of customers, sort of nods at you, kind of, and you filter through as customers rather than visitors, again you are out and able to go wherever you please.
Okay, how do we want to approach the mayor, or do we want to do some other bits and pieces first? Approach the mayor with the, we've got these bits, we need your bit. Schnellmacken, otherwise your town is toast. Because that's definitely an option.
Sorry, spell that out for me in words of one syllable.
We go directly to the mayor. We bypass whatever lackey he's got in the front office. We say we've got this thump book, we've got this thump dagger, we've got this thump sword missing him. We need the brooch, your family brooch, because we're going to go kicking down the magical barrier that's stopping us from getting further into the abomination vaults. And if you don't give us the brooch, well, we'll take all of these with us, and I don't care. And Atari will probably be wiped off the map inside the next 6 months.
Sounds reasonable.
It is pretty much a roughshod approach, and he may be inclined to not get flattened in the first instance, but it may or may not hurt.
Aren't I slightly better at intimidating people than you? Which would probably mean that I end up saying that.
I can do looming and menacing.
Yeah, you drop the bits on the table, I'll give the commentary.
We've got this. Wham. We've got this. Wham. I'll see if I can get the table to break on the third one.
Wait, what's everyone's intimidation scores?
That's a good question. Well presented. Let's have a quick look.
13.
Nice.
This is why I glared at the things and they got back in the bin and disappeared from this plane.
Oh yeah.
Amusingly,
Yeah.
intimidation is only +9 because it's based off charisma, not strength,
It
unlike
is.
D&D.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah,
you
you
are
thump
one
stuff
above
on the
me, I'm
table
above
with a menacing air and I'll do the talking.
There is, by the way, a feat, I don't know what level it is at, called Intimidating Presence, which does allow you to use your strength instead of your charisma.
Ooh,
But it is
I have intimidating prowess. +1 circumstances check, so makes it +10. If your strength score is a 20 or higher, then you can use it.
Yeah.
I'm 1 point off.
That's,
1
that's,
point.
That's effectively what I was thinking. Yes, so yes. Intimidating prowess. You do need that. Okay. So with a fairly determined plan of how you will approach the mayor, and the day is relatively young still, you start the walk up onto the cliffside, because the mayor's house is actually overlooks Atari. It's sat up on the hill. It's the large cross-shaped house to the east of town, just up on the top. Now, this house, the Menem's Manor, is also closely attached to the lumberyard, because the Menem's family actually owned the lumberyard as well, and this is one of the reasons why they have a reasonable amount of money. You approach the door, or at least the gate, and there are people sort of standing guard. These look a little bit they look like the better, more veteran guards from the town, from the thing. It's almost like it's a duty for those that have done reasonably well. It's you know, a little bit of a reward for those that potentially are a little bit older in the tooth. And the guards recognise you as a group, especially a certain young orc that they have recognised before. But they still stand. Mosrin, You business here?
We do, and it's pressing in the kind of vaguely cataclysmic town's going to get flattened in a undefined period of time kind of way.
Sounds serious.
And the serious
I mean,
face and daily start.
considering everything else you guys have been involved in, I'm not going to question. I'm going to assume that you are not just trying to pull my leg like you did as a little whippersnapper.
I have learned there is a time and a place, and if we were somewhere else, maybe, then that might be a good place, but now is not a good time.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, the one thing I do know is that Joseph is probably going to be quite busy this morning. He normally doesn't take visitors. He is dealing with the politics and all the rest of it of the town. And I'd imagine Mnala is dealing with the kids somewhere inside. But we will. I'll head in. I'll see if anybody can see you. Just give me a few minutes, okay?
I no worries.
It's busy in there and noisy.
Better to be out here then. In that case, I can appreciate
Yeah,
that.
Can be. Yeah. Just give me a moment. And he sort of nods to the other guard and walks in through the front door. It takes about 15 minutes when you stood out here. At which point, not only does the guard walk out the door, but so does someone else. Dark of skin, small goatee beard, no moustache. It's sort of the beard comes round and clumps at the chin. Wearing very fine clothing, with a large ledger book under one arm, leather sort of armor top, these huge leather gloves, and this massive yellowy golden brown sort of cloak over his shoulders. This is the mayor of Atari, Joseph Menems. And he comes up to you. Morning. Well, I'm ever so glad you're here. You see, I need your help. And that's where we're going to end tonight. So yeah, we are all done for this one. I think we probably won't be able to fit in another, not with getting people to sleep at reasonable times, and lots of people have very busy days. But we will get back to a more fixed schedule going forwards. I think most of the holidays are now done. So we will get back onto the recording. There might be a couple of LARP events that go and cause clashes, but we'll see. But ultimately, yeah, we will be back with more of this soon. We will get the resident dwarf back into the group now because they're all going to need to be involved in this one. And yeah, we'll sort things off. Right. Thank you very much, everybody. We will see you next time. Bye-bye for now.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.